This car is 42 years old, and that's a problem.
ここに栄誉を極めたトヨタマーク2、ダイナミックなパワーを秘めたその華麗なフォルム、そして高級シートをはじめ豪華装備の一つ一つがグレードを語りかける。今グランデな男たちへトヨタマーク2。
5 years ago, I bought this car completely blind from Japan. Now, when you buy a car from Japan, you should probably get someone to go and look at it. I didn't, and my car turned up like this, covered in rust. Now, that was my issue because I didn't send anyone to go and get it. And after receiving it and looking around it, it was pretty clear that I had been semi-scammed because the pictures I had received were nearly 15 years old. However, spending a little bit more time in the port looking over the car, it was pretty clear that it was pretty much only the boot that was the main concern. The other concern was it wasn't running. However, we took it straight to the petrol station, banged some fresh fuel in it, and it fired right into life. Now, in the UK, it takes a while to get a car that is imported legal to be driven on the UK roads. And when that did happen, I actually ended up getting it on the road for approximately 3 days until the head gasket went, which is obviously not ideal. However, that meant I just had to start the build a little earlier. So I did. I got it into the workshop, I pulled the car to bits, started buying all the parts that I wanted, and it was beginning to be the car that I had dreamt of all this time. I've wanted a car like this for years, and I was finally building it. Manual swap, nice little wheels, coilovers, air cups, the lot. This thing was going to be good. Now, a few months later, it actually went on the road, and I didn't film any of it because I wasn't a YouTuber back then. However, I did film this clip, and it was probably the first real video that I filmed on the channel. Now, that was a terrible video, and if you want to go back and watch it, I'll link that in the description. However, in the video I was saying how great it is and how happy I was with it, but there was still a few things that needed to be done. Now, a few months after that, the engine blew a core plug and lost all its coolant, and I overheated it, and I was very, very sad. So that's why this car being 42 years old is a massive problem. Everything around the car is perishing, it's old, it's almost irreplaceable. I've had to pull the engine out twice, the head gasket's gone twice. Why have I got to do this again? So that leads us up to now. And after all of that, it's still kind of shit. Now, this car is only an engine away from really driving out of this workshop. And I mean, everything you see will just go back in and work. But I wouldn't be satisfied. What I'm about to do might be a bad idea. I want to remove everything from this engine bay. Anything around the engine needs to go. Then talking the fuse box, the wiring harness, the aircon, the wiper motor, the hood hinges, the power steering reservoirs, all of this stuff needs to go, and that is because it's overly cluttered, it's very old and very irreplaceable. Being an imported car, it is almost impossible to get any normal service items in the UK. Now, by removing all this stuff, we can simplify it. Now, you can't just get rid of it, otherwise you wouldn't be able to use it as a car. So everything you do see still has to work, because I still want it to function as a normal car. For example, getting rid of the wipers is absolutely stupid, but it'd be nice if it wasn't in the bay looking so bulky and horrible. And that is the whole problem about smoothing a bay. What do you do with all this stuff? And the truth is, I have no idea. I've never done anything like this before, and I can guarantee it's going to provide lots of headaches along the way. And this is going to be a very in-depth build over the next couple of months, and there's no point of waiting to get started, so let's crack straight into it right now. Now, because we're shaping the bay and there's going to be a lot of welding, a lot of painting going on, we've got to get it back to a completely bare engine bay. So we've got to remove everything in the engine bay and everything surrounding the outside of the engine bay. That includes the wings, the lights, the bumpers, the wing mirrors, and then interior as well. But for now, we're going to get all this out without damaging it, because although we are removing it from the engine bay, we do need to reference back to it when we remake a bunch of this other stuff elsewhere in hidden spaces around the car. And also, we could possibly sell these parts to someone else around the world. I've already been asked for the aircon system, and I'm not getting rid of that, so that's another thing to add to the list, which is going to be pretty complicated to implement into the whole build. You should probably stay tuned for this or subscribe, because this is going to be quite intense. Now to get the front bumper off, we also want to be removing the arch liner, so that's what I'm doing right here. Then I've got to remove the chrome trim around the arch, and then to take the wing off, and then have to remove the side moulding that goes all the way along down the sill. And during the process of that, I snapped all of the 3D printed clips I had, so now I have none. I've then got to do that same process on the passenger side, and at that point, we can start removing body panels and getting closer to our end goal. Again, I've got to be super careful, but most importantly, these headlights, I've got to be so careful. I think a set of these would probably set me back nearly £1,000 shipped to the UK, so probably put them in a safe place and put them somewhere where I can't just walk over them and smash them, because that's the sort of thing that I would do, and that would make me rather upset and ruin the budget, because this is going to be an expensive build. I've now got to remove all of the aircon system and piping and wiring surrounding this area. This is something that's going to be modified quite extensively to make it work. I know we get like 1 day of summer per year in the UK, but for that 1 day it always seems to be like 87 billion degrees. So it'd be nice if we had aircon for that day. That's going to be quite a challenging piece for this whole build, and if you've got any ideas on how I can remove it while still maintaining it, let me know in the comments. Right, that is everything stripped off the front now, like fully. The only thing I need to do now is actually go on the inside, because the wiring looms, factory, are going through here, all the way back in under the dash. Same again on the other side. And I need to basically pull them through, because they're going to be reworked in a later date. Probably should address all of this rust and stuff as well while I'm at it. That is like brake fluid, like ruining all the paint down there. This is just like surface rust, that's nothing. But I did notice like this has got quite bad. It's like loads of stone chips. My wings have started going rusty. Look, you can see all along there, really bubbled up. These have been painted, so these have literally gone rusty in the time that I've owned it in the UK. This wing is bad. It was all caved in when I got it, so I do need a new one. That one actually isn't bad. Hasn't started really rusted anywhere, but again, need to get all of this sort of stuff repainted. That'll be repainted, that'll be repainted, that'll be repainted. All of the inner arches will be repainted. Yeah, it's a long haul, but lots of work to be done. You can see how much rust is actually behind and underneath that steering box, just because it's leaked out of this over some period of time in life. Annoying, because it would probably gone in between the seams as well, which is not good. It'll rust from the inside out, so not quite sure what to do yet, but we'll get that treated in due course. But now the dreaded part is to remove the dashboard. So yeah, everything in here is going to be delicate, brittle, and I don't know where any of the bolts are, so it's going to be awfully horrible of a job to do, but we've got to do it regardless. I'm just not really looking forward to it. There's a lot of really brittle stuff in here, and well, you cannot replace anything really. Having this car in the UK is a nightmare, for me anyway, but you can get it, but it's just really expensive to get. Anyway, put the wheels back on, roll it a bit further forward, get some more light in here, and start stripping the inside. The interior of this car is literally the best bit about it, but also the scariest, because it's like, it's all fabric, it's all full of mess in the back here. Oh, this car's been off the road since like 2022, 2023? Long time, long time. Not ideal, I'll be honest. This is a twin cam interior, so the interior that is in this car, you can only get it if you had a twin cam car. And even just finding a twin cam car is hard work. So when it comes to replacing any of it, bit of a nightmare. I think one of the bolts for the seat is literally underneath all the fuel lines. This is just not ideal, is it? I'm trying to live my life. Right, now we can take it out. It's a shame that I had to be reminded that all of my original floor mats have literally just turned into dust. Like, look at this. This is what's left of the original mats. They say Mark II on them. And there's just crumbles of crap in here. It's very sad. I wish I could buy some more, but I've not seen any. Fun fact, this steering wheel is a Nardi, obviously, out of a MX-5. And you can tell that because it's got the black rim around the outside, but in lockdown, I spent the whole day polishing the front and getting rid of the black anodizing. It took so long that I never did the back. So it's black on the back because this anodizing is so tough and I wasn't prepared to do it. Now, I'm gonna sit here and just undo lots of screws. Right, now for the most important piece of the car. When I was buying this car, it had to have the digital dash, and I'm 99% sure they only came in twin cam cars. Not quite sure if you can retrofit it to other cars. You see them every now and then pop up on the auctions. Yeah, not very often. We'll handle with care because it is quite a big cluster. I don't want to break it. I'm literally petrified. This has taken me like loads longer than it would on like any other car because it's just got to be not so bloody ham-fisted and just snap all the clips and stuff because that would make me really upset. Right, this here is quite the clock. Look at that. Best thing about this car. Me driving at night, it's just like, oh, nostalgic, even though I can't be nostalgic because I've never experienced it until I got this car. Now, hopefully, I can get the rest of this dash out. Hey. Ah, beautiful. And to be honest, I only broke a couple things. Not all of it, just a couple. It's a good job I'm going to put this back together in about 4 months' time and completely forget how it all went. Because it was very specific how it all went in. Right, now we're at this point here. I don't know if I've said it or not, but the reason I am pulling this dash out is to get rid of the heater matrix and aircon outlets. Obviously, I want to keep aircon and I want to keep heat in the car. I still want everything in this car to function while deleting it from the engine bay. Now, I've seen a few things online where the outlets can be turned like 90 degrees with a bit of modification and you can route it behind the dash and outside of the view of person looking in the engine bay, so hide it behind the bulkhead basically. So another thing to realise is that all the sound deadening that is on the back of this bulkhead obviously needs to go, otherwise I will set it on fire. Honestly, I've not labelled anything, so if it goes back together, that'll be a massive bonus because there is a lot of unknown clips and stuff that I've just undone. And also a lot of things that were just undone. They didn't have anything plugged into them, and when I come to put it back together, I'm probably not going to remember. So yeah. But that's going to have to happen tomorrow because the battery's about to die on the camera and I need to go home and have some dinner. So I'll join you tomorrow evening.
Next day, got to get the big heater box out. You know, the big plastic thing that sits underneath the dash that goes through 1 billion heat cycles over the last 42 years. That's most likely really brittle and probably going to break. Yeah, let's get that out. That sounds really great fun. But all jokes aside, it's something that needs to happen. And if I don't do it now, then I'll probably never do it. So I might as well crack on and start whinging.
Right, so I think this comes out in 3 pieces. Get the video reference so I don't forget where stuff goes. Josh for the future, that back line comes out of there. Number 5, which went to the heater matrix. Josh for the future is going to be so happy about that. What's this thing? Nice. Okay, so the whole reason that we've removed all of this blower motor is mainly because we're going to be welding spare holes up on the bulkhead, making the engine bay look smooth. If you look here, this is our heater core, or whatever you want to call it. It's not a blower motor. Heater core? Heater matrix? Heater matrix. Anyway, you've got an inlet and an outlet. Might be the other way around, not quite sure. But where these come out in the engine bay, are so far away from each other that I don't like the look of them in the bay. I'll upload a picture here where you can see just the completely smooth bay, and then you can see the inlet and the outlet of the cooling system, which is not ideal if you want to have a clean look. And I think because these are copper, I'm not a plumber, so I might be lying here, but we might be able to modify these. So instead of them coming out here and here, they come out here and here. And then with the engine, I'll show you an engine bay. You can sort of see that here. So that's where the inlet is and the outlet is, right here. Now our engine probably sits about here, just along here like that. And if you imagine, if you're looking at here and the engine is right there like that, you can see that heater core line, you can see that one. Well, if we modify the inside of the core, or heater matrix, whatever you want to call it, so these holes are here and here, then we could just have a little bit of a hose that long to go straight into the back of the cylinder head, because I think there's about a gap about that big behind the engine, and we can hide that. So when you're looking at it here, you can't see those ports, but if you go here, you will just be able to see it. But there'll be so much other things going on around the engine bay, you won't be looking down there.
Now, I'm already getting too far ahead of myself here. So sound deadening still got to come out. Brake master cylinder's got to come out. Brake booster's got to come out. Clutch pedal's got to come out. Clutch master cylinder's got to come out. Throttle pedal, steering column, the lot. It's all still got to come out. Back to complete bare shell. Well, bulkhead anyway. It's quite annoying that I've had to pull the column out just to get the sound deadening out, but I will have to go back in because I can't leave it without any steering. But it is all trapped behind it, so for now, it's coming out.
Nice. Sound deadening out. I think I'm just going to replace it. I mean, I ripped it in half because it's literally so old and brittle. I think I might just replace it with some dynamite and stuff properly, just stick it onto the bulkhead. Don't have to worry about this horrible furry stuff which could, well, set alight potentially, I don't know. It was such a massive ordeal just to get all that out. It's been absolutely ages. And if it goes back together, I'll be surprised because there's so many plugs, so many bolts and screws that I've undone that I just probably won't remember. But yeah, big milestone. Doesn't look like a lot, but it's a lot. Oh man, found a little bit of rust here. Right where the airbox butts up against it. It's just rotted, which tells me there's water getting in from above. Above there is like the wiper motor system, which probably is leaking or something. This big hole here is massive. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking, but that is 10 times the size of what it should be. And I'm going to hopefully get rid of that because we are going to be converting this car from a steering box car to a rack and pinion car. So no steering box on top of the chassis leg, one single UJ going straight to the rack, so that can be literally like a quarter of the size it already is, and that will clean up the bay again once more. Little details like that will make the thing look 10 times better than the overall result. So where do we go from here? Number one, I need to figure out how to get the wiper motor out. It's connected, right? Usually on most cars you get behind it where this cowling goes right here, but you can't. Can't get it behind the glove box or behind the dash, so it's in a void here. I haven't taken any of that cover off there, but I'm only assuming that's the only way to get into it and undo it from itself, but that's very, very weird. This needs to be removed from the engine bay, and I'm thinking about taking this and then moving it in here and just Frenching it into here and making the rod longer so the wipers still work, but the motor is in here out the way. I'm going to answer a bunch of questions which I know I will get and suggestions, and I'm going to iron those out right now. All right, questions that I know you're going to ask. Number one, why don't you just put a false bulkhead right at the back, save yourself a ton of time, don't have to smooth up all the bay. That is a good idea if you've got a VW Golf, but this is not a VW Golf and I would hate the look of it. Once you start getting rid of the original bumps and lumps and impressions of the original panels, I think it just looks stupid and it looks a bit, well, rubbish really. So yeah, we're not going to do that. As much as it would save me time, I'm already in too deep anyway. That extra time it's going to save me is not going to warrant how it looks at the end of the build. So number 2, are you going to change the engine? No, I'm not going to change the engine because this engine is original to the car. It's the main reason I bought the car is because it has the engine. Like I said earlier, it's a twin cam car, so it gets the digi dash, the seats, the badges down the side, and of course you get the noise. The noise is that traditional like Kaido Racer style noise that you see in Japan of all these cars. The crazy noises that come from them, like the Jingle Bell video, it's one of them. So you need to keep that. I always call it the grandfather of the IS200, which it is, it's the same block. So yeah, not changing the engine, but we have got a bunch of cool goodies for it. Other than 2 questions, I know you're just gonna have a bunch of suggestions. So I'm gonna nail a couple of them right now so you know that I already know, but I will try to reply to everyone as I can. Power steering, I am gonna probably put an S13 rack in it because that's probably the easiest thing which is gonna semi-fit in the UK. So you gotta think about how getting stuff in the UK, we've got to get something that's like serviceable or easy to get. S13, I've got one over there, probably mock it up, use the brackets off the subframe I have over there and just make it fit in there. Second to that, I want to pair it with a Prius electric steering column. So another thing to get out of the bay is the power steering pump, get rid of all the lines, put electric steering column in the car, and then I can hide that underneath the dash. So that's another thing removed out of the engine bay. Again. Third, probably gonna get a Chase Bays brake booster delete kit, tidies that area up a little bit more. As for aircon, I know you can get the electric aircon pumps these days, so you can buy a electric pump. Again, another thing to get rid of out the bay, get rid of all the pipes, etc. And you can remote mount that and then just run new lines and hopefully adjust the big box of aircon magic over there, reroute those lines so they don't poke through the bulkhead and then go underneath back towards the car and hide a lot of things in the boot. So yeah, there's those options. I don't really know a lot about those options. I know that I want to go that route, but I don't know much about them. And I've seen people do it, and I thought I'd give it a go. So yeah, other than that, open to a bunch of suggestions on how to get this looking as clean as possible. I'll throw some examples up here of what I'm sort of aiming for. Every single one of those has a few things that I would want to change. I just want to make this look as clean and tidy as possible. So yeah, long road ahead, and I hope you're excited because that's pretty much all I'm going to be working on for the next couple of months, in between a few other little projects we've got going in the background. But yeah, this is full steam ahead on this. I've got a load of cool bits coming for it. I've had some merch designed for the car. I think you're all going to be excited for it. This is going to be my best build ever. I only consider this as phase 2. I always visioned in my head that we'd have 3 phases of building this car. The initial one, what we're doing now, and then the final boss mode, which we'll see in a few years how that goes. But yeah, that is what we're up to. GX61 Mark II, undergoing the full knife treatment because there's a lot of things going on. So hope you're excited. Thank you very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you very soon with another episode. Goodbye.